Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today it's a very special day. Today, William the Magic Box is celebrating 3 years. 3 years ago on this day, I was introducing William the Magic Box to the whole world. William the Magic Box has been traveling all around the globe, meeting wonderful people, sharing emotions, smiles, tears, a lot of things that people has been sharing on the Magic Box. I could stay here like for hours just telling you a lot of experiences, a lot of moments that the show has been providing. But today I'm gonna share with you the very first day when I sat down here to do the interviews. On the first day, I already did 5 interviews to start like in a big style. The very first interview I did was with my lovely friend Sebastian from France. So remember, he was on holidays in his family house, and we organized the interview. I was very nervous. He was very nervous as well, and it went very fun. We had a great time. After that, the Magic Box went all the way to Miami, the US, to meet my lovely friend Marian. Marian is from England, but she's been living in Miami for a few years now. After that, William the Magic Box went all the way back to London to visit, to see my lovely friend Michael. Michael, sadly, he passed away last year, and he left his legacy here on the show. I think the best part of it, now his family, his friends, people, when sometimes we miss him, we can just go there and watch his memories. It was such an amazing interview. I remember when I invited him, we used to work together, and straight away he said, "Yes, let's do it, William. I would love to be part of it." So thank you, Mike. Whatever you are right now, you have no idea. I will always be grateful for you to take the time to do the interview, and I will always miss you. And you have no idea how special you've been, in my life, and a lot of people as well. So thank you very much. So after that, the Magic Box went all the way to San Francisco in California, in the USA, to meet my lovely friend Pierre. So Pierre is French, but he's been living there for a few years as well. When I invited him, straight away he said, "Yes, of course, let's do it." After that, William the Magic Box got back to England again, and for the 5th interview. And my last interview, it's interesting, and because it was a random person, a lovely man that I invite online, the same way that I invite you, who participate on the show. And guess what? I literally forgot to press the button here to record the interview. And I didn't realize, because I was very nervous. I remember as well, I forgot to do the word association game, with some of my guests on that day. So yeah, sadly, the interview wasn't recorded and we didn't manage to do it again. But again, I think, that's part of the journey, And saying that, the message that I would like to leave here is, they're not perfection, yeah? I think perfection, it's something that we create in our minds, yeah? Whatever you do in your life, just do it, yeah? All the dreams that you have, keep going, keep believe in you, in yourself, in your dream. Spread around the world, scream, tell people how much you want it, how much you want to, to achieve your dream. Never give up. Never get intimidated by those no's that is gonna come along, yeah? They are necessary as well to doubt you, to make you persist even more in your dreams. So never get intimidated by the no's that come along on the way. They are necessary, so don't get intimidated. Just, go through it and just, achieve your dreams. Keep going, keep believing in yourself, never stop. I think life is about that. It's about for you to keep going, keep learning, you are always growing and becoming a better person. So I'd like to take this opportunity to say thank you very much to everyone, all of you who participate on the show, all of you who has been watching the show, supporting the show every single day. You have no idea. It's been amazing. 3 years doesn't feel like, it's been over 1,000 interviews on the show so far. I cannot believe that more than 1,000 people, just sat down here with me. People around the world, my goodness, and to have this moment, to make memories. So a big thank you. You have no idea how grateful I feel for, for everyone, not just people who participate on the show as well, but for the message from people that they never participated. They just support the show, watching the show, make comments, So thank you so much for all of you. You have no idea how happy and lucky I feel, sitting down here now and saying that, it's been 3 years right now. And of course, to celebrate these 3 years, my guest on the show is a special guest. He's a big star on TikTok. He got millions of people following him on TikTok. And he's a lovely man. His name is Chad. He's from Virginia in the USA. So let's enjoy the interview. Once again, thank you so much for, for the support. Thanks so much for sharing this dream with me. Thank you so much for being part of the show. And let's do, more years to come along. And thank you so much. And let's enjoy the interview. Once again, grateful. I feel very grateful to be able to sit here again after 3 years and say, welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I hope you enjoyed the interview. And once again, thank you very much. So hello, Chad. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm very well. Thanks so much for taking the time this morning for the interview. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for having me. I was looking forward to it all week.
Amazing. So tell me, how's your morning going so far?
Oh, it's been good. I've been traveling all week. I got back. I was in the Midwest, like in Kansas and in Nebraska, and I got in late last night, and I was faced with a little adversity. I got to my hotel like at midnight, and they advised there was no running water.
Oh.
And so they were not taking any guests. So I had to go to a different hotel, but it's fine. So I drove back this morning and just sort of using today to sort of relax. I got to leave for Europe on Monday for an 8-day trip. So.
Wow. So during the interview, I'm going to explore a little bit more about your trip as well.
Yes.
So tell me, where are you from, Chad?
So I'm from Lynchburg, Virginia. I was born and raised in Tucson, Arizona. Moved to Northern California when I was 12. Or I'm sorry, when I was 8. And then we moved to Virginia when I was 12. So I've been here, and I'm 52. So I've been here this whole entire time.
Wow. And all your family, they live in Virginia as well?
They do. My mom and dad live here. My younger brother lives down in Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
And my wife's family is from here as well. Her brother is out in Montana, and her sister's in Utah.
Wow. They're spread everywhere.
Absolutely.
And what do you do for work, for living, Chad?
So I'm in sales. I'm in the leather industry. So
okay.
we buy and wholesale leather, and we resell it to upholstery manufacturers, automotive, aviation, hospitality.
Wow.
So, and I run the aviation division. So that's why I get to travel so much.
You're a busy man.
Busy man.
It's good to be busy. I think when you are busy, it keeps you, going and keeps you out of trouble.
No question.
Chad, before we start our journey within the Magic Box, would you like to tell me something interesting about yourself?
Well, I played baseball. I was an athlete in high school, and I played baseball and football, and I went on to play college baseball. And in 2016, I was inducted into my college's Hall of Fame.
Wow.
So I think that's a pretty interesting feat.
For sure. Chad, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
Sure.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I've got here my best friend. random fun questions. I'm
Okay.
just gonna play a song now just for us to relax a bit before the first question, okay?
You got it.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Hey, Chad, before we start the game, during the join, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about some reason, you don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
Sure.
First question for you is, what is a significant event that has changed you?
Oh boy. Well, I think it's a combination of it wasn't one single event. There was an instance probably 5 or 6 years ago where one of my employees made a mistake, and we were very close, and the mistake came from some information that they thought came from me, and it didn't. But it was one of those situations where that you get into, and they're very honest about it, and they came back to me and said that it was something that they felt was impacting their lives because I was very honest with them about it. I told
Mm-hmm.
them, I was like, "Hey, guys, if that was what happened to you, that was in your mind and that's what you felt, but we were able to be honest with each other, and it really sort of changed I mean, it didn't change my life, but it really had an impact on me because when you talk something out and
Mm-hmm.
you understand each other, it makes the world go around so much better."
Totally. And I think those events in life, you know what I mean? It somehow it happened, and the only way it's facing and trying to kind of, dissolve the situation, if you know what I
Face,
mean.
yeah, face adversity. You can't run from it. You got to face it, talk about it, and make
Yeah,
sure you learn from it and move on.
absolutely. Yeah. Next question. Let's do it.
Go.
Hey, Chad from Virginia in the USA. Next question is, what was your favorite part about school?
My favorite part about school?
Yeah.
Oh boy. And I've been very honest about this to my family, to my kids. School was not um the best part. I was a good student. I wasn't like your straight A student. I was from the beginning. I was always into sports,
Mm-hmm.
and back in the late '80s and late '80s when I was in high school, we people didn't know what ADHD was, and I I was a classic case for it. And I mean, I can remember like it's yesterday, where I was sitting in the classroom and one of my teachers is talking. I'm just like, just not, just kind of roaming around. But I was diagnosed, you know, 10 years ago. Uh, but had I known that back in when I was in elementary school and middle school and high school, it would have made a difference on my academics.
It's so interesting saying that because I had an interview a while ago with a lovely man from New York City, and I think he lives now in another state. But he told me the same. He said, William, I was considered the bad boy, but because I had the same situation, the same problem, they didn't know, and I couldn't concentrate myself. I was focused on something else. I couldn't stop. I was literally very proactive, and
Yeah,
I wish they knew that before because you changed my way and the way the teachers were seeing me as well, because I wasn't a bad kid. I was just, I couldn't control the way I was.
no question, no question.
Yeah,
And and that can be hard for people to understand.
yeah, absolutely. And again, they think that you're the bad boy. You cannot concentrate, you cannot stop, but it's not about that. It's just something
Right.
that you cannot control.
And
Anyway,
even to this day, my mom feels guilty about it because, she's like, I wish we would have been able to test her. I'm like, it's okay. I mean, we can't
yeah,
look in the rearview mirror. Let's keep on moving forward.
totally. And I think nowadays with the exposure of social media and people talking about, I think people understand more now. It's more explicit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Totally. Next question, Chad. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Right. Before the next question, of course, I got connected with you from TikTok,
Yeah.
and oh my God, you have millions of people following you. My goodness, you have a lot of likes through your
Thank you.
TikTok. My goodness, I was checking. Actually, when I sent you a message, when you replied back, I was like, oh my God, he saw my message. I would never thought
Yeah.
that you would reply back.
Yeah.
Anyway, my question to you is, tell me about the idea of TikTok. What is the main videos? What is about your page that gets so much attention around the world and people like it? Walk me through a little bit about the journey so far.
Yeah. So it started back in March of 2020, right when COVID started. At the time I was traveling a bunch, and I ended up, in town for 6 months. And my wife, I remember one night, she was like, "Hey, have you ever been on TikTok?" And I'm like, I didn't know what it was. And I remember I was on it till like 2 in the morning. I'm like, this is interesting. I'm up for trying this. So I posted one video, and I remember like it was just I did it in slow motion because I couldn't. It was a Justin Bieber song. I was like, and I mean, today, and I still get likes about it today, which is funny. But anyway, it sort of just morphed into this hobby of mine, where I started to do dances, and then I started to get a little bit better at the dances, and I got noticed by a few people, and then my followers started to engage more. Um, and it's been fun. People always ask me, what's your main job, or is TikTok your main job? And I'm like, no, it's a hobby. I got a full time job, and I do TikToks just to sort of, if I'm in a bad mood or I'm just not feeling right, I'll go and I'll do a dance, and then I'll do it the right way, and it gets me smiling, and then I'll post it, and then I'll get all the fun and very very supportive comments. Not all of them are supportive, but I being my age, being 52, doing dances that are done by teenagers or people in their 20s and 30s, I get a little grief for it, but I try to set that aside and, you know, continue my journey.
It's amazing. I was checking some of your videos. I was like, oh my goodness, it's so natural. And you bring your daughter, I think your daughter, to dance with you, your wife as well,
No,
or
my wife does. My wife
yes,
does. And then I have a coworker that will dance with me every now and then.
it's amazing. I was like, my goodness. And how often do you post? Like just when you feel like, or you have like like certain days that you post your videos?
Yeah, no, good question. I post every day. And people literally are amazed. They're like, how come you have so many videos? Because right now we're empty nesters. And I don't know if you know what an empty nester means. Both of our kids are in college.
Ah, okay.
So we're home alone, and it'll be like a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday where I'll do like 3 or 4 dances, and I'll have them for the week. So
Wow.
it makes it easier.
Amazing. Very good. Good one. Next question for you is, what makes you the happiest?
Oh man, there's a lot of things that make me happy. And I mean, I would be here all day, but it's when family life is good, when your boys both of my boys are doing well. One's graduated from college, the other one's a sophomore. When he's doing well and they're happy, and the job is going well, the wife is happy. We have 5 dogs, so you know,
Wow.
anytime I get home and I'm feeling any sort of anger, I'm greeted by the dogs like they've never seen me before, and that makes me happy.
Wow.
It's so fun. It really is sort of that breath of fresh air because they don't
Same.
know the difference between right and wrong or happy and sad. Well, they kind of do, but when I come home, it's always happy.
You know the funny thing you say about dogs. What I find out the other day during the interview with someone that's told me that's something that I never thought about. this person said that dogs and animals, they live in the present only. That's why they're always cheerful. And
That's right.
I never thought about that. And it's so true, because they don't live in the past, they don't live in the future, they live in the moment. And I was like, my goodness, it makes all sense.
That does make sense, and that's well said. And I did not know that. That's very interesting.
Yes, I didn't know when this person said to me, I was like, oh my God, that's so interesting. And when you see them cheering up and when they see you, they just jump on you, and
They
it
do.
makes sense. Absolutely.
That's
It's like a
interesting. I'm glad you told me that. I'll be sure to tell my wife.
yeah, amazing. Learning every day, always something new to learn.
Absolutely.
Next question. Right, next question is, which question would you like to be asked?
Which questions do I like to be asked?
You'd like to be asked.
Well, it depends. You know, if we've talked about TikTok, like I get questions about my sexuality, about my, you know, if I'm ever attracted to men, and I'm like, you know, I like the questions where people will come in and say, you know, how's your family? We would love to see pictures of your kids, or you know, when your wife dances, it brings out a whole new dimension. Um, those are the kind of questions that I like, and even if it pertains to to not TikTok.
Okay, so I'm gonna, as you mentioned those two topics, yeah, a bit regarding questions, I'm gonna ask you then. So tell me, as you said about people ask about your sexuality, yeah?
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest to you. When I saw your video for the first time, I don't know, for a moment, I thought maybe you could be part of the LGBTQ community, yeah? A gay person. But
yeah.
after that, when I look into more, I said, no, I think it looks like he's a straight guy. Why do you think people, they ask those questions? Because you are dancing, or because you are a good looking guy, or because you are very spontaneous? What do you think people ask you that?
Yeah. You know, I think it could be a number of things. And I have found um, on TikTok that I have a lot of followers in the LGBTQ community,
Mm-hmm.
which I support. You
Yeah.
know, anytime they come in, you know, we support. And I'm an ally. I've always been straight,
Mm-hmm.
been married obviously for 25 years, but I
Wow.
think it's a combination of the dances and combining the looks.
Yeah.
Not to be, you know, get a big head or anything, but I think that's where it comes from. And if I do a live, somebody's like, "Are you bisexual? Are you this? Are you bi?" You know, and sometimes it gets old every now and then, but you know, I'm respectful to everybody.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you something now, Chad. I'm a gay guy, and I'll tell you why. I think white people mostly they ask you that. I think it's because you're very spontaneous, and I can feel that you're very open, as you're open-minded. And I
Yes.
think as well, when gay guys they ask you if you are bi, or I think it's because they have a thing about you, and they
Yeah.
want to somehow be part of it somehow. That's why I think they ask you
Yeah.
that, because
And I am completely fine with that. You know,
yeah.
I try to put it like in my bio, like ally, and put in there that I'm married and all that
Hmm.
stuff. You know,
Yeah.
just to try to, you know, try to get out in front of the questions, but they still come up, and I support it. People are
Totally.
majority of the time they're very respectful.
Absolutely. I think people, I think as a compliment, I think you should take that as a compliment, because people, if they approach you to, regarding your appearance, or regarding your looks, or because you're dancing, or the way you express yourself, I
Yep.
think it all comes from a good place. You know what I mean? People,
Oh, I agree.
that's what I think as
I
well.
agree 100%. I do
Absolutely.
100%.
In the end of the day, you get all the attention.
Hey, listen, you know what they say? It doesn't matter how you get there. You know?
Uh-huh. Yeah, absolutely. And then you are open-minded guy, and I think that's what people appreciate, when you are respectful and open-minded as well.
Oh, good. I'm
Good,
glad to hear that, especially coming from you.
good. Ready for another one?
Yes.
Let's do it. Next question. Hey, before the next question, as you said that you've been married for 25 years, my God, it's a lifetime. Tell
Yeah.
me, what's the most beautiful lesson you've learned from your wife so far?
Oh God, there's a bunch. I would say is to be true to yourself. You
Mhm.
know, to be who you are. Don't try to pretend to be somebody that you're not,
Yeah,
and really be open minded, but really be true. Don't sometimes the world we live in, you can sometimes want to be somebody that you're really not, or you're going to try to be somebody that you're really not.
yeah,
It's and that's what she's instilled in me is be yourself, be normal. Don't try to be. You're not going to be a 24-year-old dancing on TikTok. That's just not who you're going to be. As much as I would love to be, but just to be true to self and who you are.
and what's the best part of being a dad?
Oh, is to have them come to me and say, well, if they do something, well, when you did this, this is what I learned is when if you make a mistake and you say, well, when dad told me this is when it makes an impact for me, it does. And I think that's how you always want your boys to react is to be the role model that you should be.
I see. All right. Next question is, which talent do you wish you had?
Well, this has to do with dancing. I mean, I've never had a lesson. I've done everything on my own, but I wish that I would have gone back and have been taken dance classes, like to better understand, like, you know, I do it just because I like to do it, but you know, dancing in front of a mirror, knowing beats, 5, 6, 7, I don't know any of that. When I go and do a dance with somebody else who is in another state, they're like, all right, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm like, huh? And I'm just like, you sit, I'm like, all right, here he goes. Dance gonna start. You're like, so
Wow. But it's funny because on your videos, it's so natural. It feels like you are a professional dancer. The way you dance, the way you move. It's like it come across.
well, I really appreciate that. I will tell you one thing that I have a couple of followers say this, and my wife will say it. She's like, relax. Don't try to get so caught up in every move. Let it just flow. Like just
Yeah,
feel it. And one of my followers will always say, "Hey, loosen up a little bit. Don't be so tense when you're in. And you can see it in my face, or if I stick my tongue out a lot. That's kind of one of the things that I just can't control. So if I'm concentrating during a dance, my tongue comes out.
it's
It
expression
does.
of your body.
It does.
Amazing. Right, I have 3 questions left.
Okay.
Okay, let's do it. Before the next question, tell me, about Virginia State. Tell me something about the state of Virginia that stands out compared with other states in the U.S. There's something special or unique that you always can find in Virginia.
Well, I mean, obviously, it's full of history. Um, George Washington came through here and his troops. But the most unique thing about Virginia is it's centrally located on the East Coast. So I can go snow ski in 1 hour.
Wow,
I could be to the beach in 3.5 hours, and I can be hiking on a trail in 10 minutes. So I
wow,
have and I can be at a lake. I could be, so we experience all the seasons. So I mean, being in Virginia, you can be, you're going to experience all the sports in every season and all the different weather
I
and
see.
different seasons.
All right. And how far are you from the capital? Is Richmond the capital, isn't it?
It is. We're 2 hours.
2 hours. Okay.
Yeah.
Next question is, what's the best compliment have you ever received?
Gosh. So it was, we have a very big client of ours. This was probably 4 or 5 years ago. She was working on a big project and it involved like 10 aircraft. And I wanted to go, this is when I was trying to earn their respect. And I wanted to do something different for her. So I put together all the color schemes and I put them in individual boxes. And when they arrived to, because normally we just put all the samples and just send it to her and say, you choose, but we put the samples together by scheme. And I remember she called me after that and she said, I want you to know that that was the nicest thing that any of our representatives have ever done for us.
Wow.
And to this day, they turned out to be our biggest client. So that
Wow.
was very rewarding.
Amazing. And you still remember it.
Oh, like it was yesterday. She and I are still friends to this day. She's matter of fact, she's getting ready to have her first child in December.
Oh, wow. My goodness. Tell me something, Chad, about when you talk about your job, work with leather. Yeah, walk me through a little bit about your job.
So we call on people and companies that are either making aircraft like Gulfstream, Bombardier, all the OEMs, and then we're also calling on the completion centers that are, just say example, you bought a jet and you want it to look in like the colors that you want. So they would take it to this service center
Mhm.
and our leather samples will be there and they would be able to go through our leathers and pick our colors. So I get to do that literally all over the world. I
Wow.
go all to Europe, I go to Singapore, I go to Dubai, India. So that's the cool thing is I get to travel and do sales at the same time.
Amazing. That's why you come to Europe right now. That's your trip. You
Yes.
come to Europe.
Yep. It
And where,
is.
which you go in different countries in Europe or just one country?
Yep. I'm going to Madrid, then to Venice,
Mhm.
and then to Vienna, and then to Slovakia, and then just back to Germany. So
Wow.
it's a packed trip.
Amazing. Okay. 2 questions left. Let's
Okay.
do it. Hey, Chad, next question is, what can make you cry and what can make you really happy?
Not not a lot makes me cry, but I'm a sucker for when people do good deeds. When I see videos online of somebody going out of their way to help anybody, whether it's a homeless or somebody with a learning disability, or helping a pet. It's somebody that goes out of their way to make somebody else's experiences more meaningful. And
Mhm.
I get teary eyed when I watch videos about that.
Wow.
And what makes me happy is when in life we always want to succeed for our families, for our job. For my job is when I bring in a new client that we've worked on for 5 years and it's taken a lot of time and then you find out they're going to come visit you and you're taking that next step. So it's very rewarding.
Amazing. That's the happiest Chad.
No question.
Ready for the last one?
Yes.
Last question. My God, I'm so brave to be dancing here in front of a superstar on TikTok, like dancing every day. There we go. Before the last question, tell me, since you start, your journey on TikTok, yeah, tell me, a situation or a video or a feedback, anything that happened to you through TikTok that you're gonna go like, you know what, this situation or these moments always gonna have a special place in my heart.
Oh man. Yeah, gosh. Yeah, I think it's obviously when I get a lot. Obviously, I said I get a lot of comments, but if I would hear during COVID a lot when somebody would see my video, they would say that if I'm having a bad day and I go watch your videos, I smile for hours. Like it takes them from here and brings them up to here, and that's very satisfying for me to know that you're impacting over 1 million people. But you're gonna impact that certain percentage where if they're looking to get uplifted, they come to my videos and they watch my videos, which is cool.
Yeah, and it makes so sense because people, even though they never met you, they don't know you, but if when they see you doing something with passion, with express yourself, people appreciate that and they
They
like it.
do.
That's why they connect with you.
That's why my wife is always saying when I'm dancing, I need to smile.
Yes,
Always.
and you never know who's watching. You might
You
give
never
big
know.
impact. You big impact in people's lives. You know what I mean?
Never know.
Absolutely. Okay. Last question is
Let's do it.
who has been the most influential person in your life and why?
Oh gosh. I might go a little bit um off beat here. And I've had I mean, my dad, my mom, my wife, but and I think that's the easy answer. And they have had a major impact on me and my life. But I think it was I started off playing baseball at VMI, and I didn't study very well. I went mainly to play baseball, and I had to take a semester off, and I ended up transferring to Lynchburg College. And there was a baseball coach there. His name was Jerry Thomas, and he was hard. Excuse my language, but he was tough. He was in his 70s, and he didn't really care what anybody did. It was going to be his way or the highway. And we would butt heads, you know, because I was confident in my ability to play baseball. And when I came there, you know, I was quiet. I did my thing. I worked hard. But I remember him coming up to me. It was my senior year, and he just said, "Chad," he goes, "Your emotions impact this team." And he said, "These kids feed off you." And that's when it really hit me, like in between the season, where I'm like, okay, this is very, very cool to hear that my attitude and the way I carry myself on the baseball field was impacting these other kids and my teammates, which was very, very rewarding to hear. And I never really heard that before. I'd always think that I'm going to keep my nose to the ground, I'm going to work hard, and I'm going to play to the best of my ability. But I didn't realize that sometimes, a lot of times, your actions will speak louder than words.
Absolutely. Wow. Yeah, those people again about impact in our lives. You never forget those
Right.
moments for sure. So
Absolutely.
it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking, okay? One word for money.
Determination.
Family.
Love.
Life.
Lasting.
Okay. One word for love.
Kindness.
Sex.
Passion.
Politics. Your face.
Oh. Anger.
Okay. One word for friendship.
Um, Sharing.
Desire.
Grit.
Regret.
Sorry.
One word for success.
Dedication.
Wish.
Happy.
One word for happiness.
Love.
One word for Virginia.
Hilly. We live in Lynchburg. It's the Hill City.
I see. One word for USA.
Caring.
One word for baseball.
Coordination.
Amazing. And the last one now, if you could define all your videos on TikTok in one word, what that would be?
Genuine.
I like that. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your lovely wife for a coffee, and I'm going to ask her, what is the most beautiful thing about Chad, and what's something that he still needs to work on, to improve on? What should say?
Oh. To not be so intense, to be more, to don't jump to a conclusion. Like before you decide to get upset, think,
Mm-hmm.
because that might not be what they're really doing, or think it through and talk it through without just jumping to a conclusion to get upset. Think it through, take a deep breath before you jump to a conclusion, and then make your determination.
I see. That's something that you could improve, and something beautiful about you, in her opinion.
She would say that I'm very caring. That I will put others in front of me, maybe more than I should. I don't like to take the credit. I like other people to take the credit, especially if I've helped them get there. But I like to let other people take the spotlight. People ask me, like somebody asked me today in a yoga class. They're like, "I recognize you. Where do I recognize you?" I'm like, "Maybe from TikTok." And they're like, "Wait, are you TikTok famous?" I'm like, "I don't know. I mean, I'm having fun. I got 1 million followers. Whatever you define that as being." So,
Um, is your star sign or astrology Scorpio or not?
it's Aries.
Aries. Ah, okay, it makes sense. Aries, they are the childish of the whole other series on astrology.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they are very
Oh,
childish.
I did not know that.
Yeah, yeah, they are very. That's why you are very spontaneous, very intense. It's about your star sign. Yeah.
Oh, that's very interesting.
And if I would ask the same question to your lovely boy, it would be the same answer regarding you.
Yeah, I think that, I think that they would
Agree.
agree with that. Yeah. Um, you know, I try to rub off the good parts, not the bad parts on them.
Okay, let's play now, Chad, and the magic box, and you can ask me a question. But before you ask me the question, I would like to ask you to do a dance move, or let's say that you are now recording one of your videos on TikTok. Can you do something that usually you do on your videos?
Yeah. Let me see if I can put my computer right here so it doesn't fall. So it's
Hey, amazing! Oh my God, what a privilege for myself to have you dance on the show.
oh, that's good stuff.
Thank you, Chad. Okay, you can ask me a question now.
Yeah. And this just sort of came to mind. I did not know you were a part of the LGBT community, which is
Mhm.
super cool. What when did you was this something that was it a recent transformation, or is this something that was sort of building up through your childhood into your adult age?
Great question. Great question. Oh my God. And actually, you know what? I just read 1,000 interviews on the show a few days ago, and nobody ever asked me this question. Wow.
Really?
Wow. Wow. Well done.
Oh,
Good. I love the question. I'll tell you something, Chad. Interesting your question because growing up back in Brazil, yeah, I remember when I was a teenager when I started to get to know myself, my body, the puberty, and I remember looking at girls, yeah, and I remember looking at boys, and I remember looking at boys. I started feeling these butterflies, yeah, in my tummy, and I could understand why. Back in Brazil, growing up in the '80s, not much information, in a small
sure.
town. You know what I mean? Those kind of topics we never talk about it. So for me, it was something that I could understand. And I was again sports as well. I was playing volleyball for years. I was playing
Yeah,
volleyball,
yeah.
and I was traveling a lot as well. And I remember traveling. We used to share the same. We used to sleep in schools, and I remember like sometimes I was getting changed around boys, and I was like, I could feel this butterfly, and I was like, oh my god, and I could understand, and I remember I was praying because I thought it was wrong. I remember going to the church and I was like, oh my goodness, I don't want to feel this way because it's wrong.
Yeah.
So back to your question, is it something that a lot of people, they think, of course, there are different cases, yeah, but
Sure.
most people think that it's a choice. It's not a choice because growing up, if I could choose at the time, I didn't want to be this way because I thought it was wrong, yeah.
Right.
So it's when I started growing up, and actually, even though I didn't have much information, my parents never talked to me about sex or about anything regarding that, but they were very supportive as well. They could see I was different, yeah, but they never kind of put me apart. They never kind of did anything that could hurt me or make me feel uncomfortable. They just let me be. Let's put this way. They just let me
Yeah.
be the way you were, even without talking. Maybe they didn't have much information either, else something that they never talk about, people that didn't talk about that. So yeah, I think
Wow.
growing up, I realized that, and I've been very lucky because I know there are so many cases out there that people, they were in the closet for years and
Sure.
years. So I've been very, very happy with my life, that I can be myself, I can express the way I am. I left Brazil when I was 19 years old. So let's see, my gay life, like adult life, started in Europe. Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm very grateful that I'm in a place where I can express myself, I can be who I am, and I don't need to hide that. So that's
Wow.
how, yeah. So that's how, that's my journey so far. But saying that,
Very authentic.
yes, and it's interesting because I'm so aware that there are so many people out there that they cannot be themselves for
Sure.
so many reasons, because
Yep.
society, religion, and a lot of things.
Right.
And I'm grateful that I can be myself and I can express the way I am. And so yeah, so that's my journey. When I look back, even though I didn't have much information, not even my family and parents, they couldn't support me. But even though I've been very lucky that somehow life brought me in a direction that I could understand and find out by myself. I remember in Portugal when I went for the first time for a gay club. I never heard before, and I didn't know how to find it. So yeah, that's my answer
Good
to
for
you.
you. Good for you. Yeah, that's very authentic. I'm very happy for you.
Thanks for the question. Thanks for making me go through my memories in life as a
Yeah.
child. Chad, did you enjoy the interview?
Oh, it was great. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having me.
Thank you so much for taking the time. Thanks for being so kind and so open as well about about yourself.
Yeah.
And I think
Sure.
it's a privilege to have on the show. You know what I mean? I star. Oh my God, so many millions and millions and millions of people following you. And oh my God, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's an honor to
Thank
have
you.
you here. Before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
And this is how I have lived my life here in the last 15 years, and it took me a long time to learn this. Is when if you're by yourself and you drop a piece of paper, don't leave it for somebody else to clean up. You take care of what you can control and don't leave it for somebody else. If that makes sense, it's like it's you clean up a mess you left behind, or take ownership of what you do. That's that's my biggest thing. If you make a mistake, own it. If you drop a piece of paper or you make a mess, or if it's a little piece of paper that nobody will ever see, you're going to see it. You're going to see it. Pick it up so it's not left behind. Even though it's not going to impact anybody, be true to yourself.
I love the message. Amazing. Thank you so much, Charlie. Regards to your family, okay? And you keep in touch. It was a pleasure, okay?
Thank you.
Take care. Enjoy your day. Take care.
See ya.
Bye-bye. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye-bye. See you next time.